Alright, I'm going to show you how to set up your charts real quick. Basically, you're going to be using freestockcharts.com. That's what I use. You can use whatever you want, but I find this pretty simple and easy, self-explanatory to use. Basically, you're going to click Add Indicator right here. Let's see right here. You're going to move down. Pretty much everything is based on moving averages, so it's going to be, I think, 7 different moving averages. Just click there. It's going to ask you whether you want simple or exponential or weighted. You're always going to use simple or exponential. So you're going to have a moving average of 50, exponential moving average of 13, moving average of 20, simple moving average of 200, simple moving average of 100, exponential moving average of 26, and then another exponential moving average of 233. So basically all the moving averages are going to tell you the trend and everything, so you don't try to get into a trend where it's going in the wrong direction. Like, for instance, right here the price is going towards the SMA 100 and the SMA 50, so you're looking for a put signal here, because if you look at previous price action, the SMA 50 has been a level of resistance that gets bounced off of there and almost got bounced off there. It just didn't quite touch, so you technically wouldn't have a trade signal unless you wanted to take a risk on it. But this is a very high probability trade if the price goes to here. You also want to have your MACD and your stochastic on there. The MACD is going to be the standard setting, the 12.26.9. Stochastic is going to be 12.3.5. I think that's the standard. You might want to make sure. Pretty much you're trying to make sure that the blue line, the darker blue line, is under the other line. And then right here you want to make sure the yellow line is under the other line as far as doing a put. But that's not as important as this right here. The two lines being resistance is a lot more important than the crosses right here, but you always want to keep those in mind when you're making a trade. If these are under and you're doing a put, then it's more of a solid trade. It's a higher probability trade. But either way, this is a high probability trade, but it suffers slightly from the fact that these are crossing. So you would do a put if the price came up here within either this bar or the next bar. But yeah, so basically you just want to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different moving averages, the MACD and the stochastic. That's going to be your setup for every single strategy that I'm going to tell you. So it's kind of important. Just a couple more things I wanted to add to that is that you want to have your assets over here. Just everything that you're going to be using is easy access. Just click on it, bam, bam. So you don't have to worry about having to type everything in or anything like that every time you want to look at something. And also, since trading is very boring most of the time, my setup is always having something, a different window to where you can just do random stuff on the internet while you wait for trades to set up. So you have your assets there, you can click that, and then over here you can see what's going on for like the last 20 minutes or so. I always use the 5-minute chart. You can use bigger charts. You can use the exact same strategies on different charts on 5-minute, versus 15, 30, 1-hour chart. But ultimately, the 5-minute chart is going to give you more trade setups. If you want to trade, fewer trade setups at about the same level of probability, you can go to the 15, 30, and all that. But I prefer to use the 5 just because that's just what I'm used to.